Don't stop. Okay, you're the heart. Okay, remember that. You're the heart.
Elle, I don't know if you can hear this, but if you can, I want you to know I'm here, okay? I'm right here. And I love you. Elle, do you hear me? I love you. I'm sorry I don't say it more. It's not because I'm scared of you. I'm not. I've never felt that way. Never. But I am scared that one day you'll realize you don't need me anymore. And I thought that if I said how I felt, it would somehow make that day hurt more. But the truth is, Elle, I don't know how to live without you. I feel like my life started that day we found you in the woods. You were wearing that yellow Benny's Burgers t-shirt, and it was so big it almost swallowed you whole. And I knew right then and there, in that moment, that I loved you. And I've loved you every day since. I love you on your good days. I love you on your bad days. I love you with your powers. I love you without your powers. I love you for exactly who you are. You're my superhero. And I can't lose you. Okay? Do you hear me? I can't lose you. You can do anything. You can fly. You can move mountains. I believe that. I really do. But right now, you just have to fight. Okay? Elle, do you hear me? You need to fight. You have to fight. Fight! Fight!
Stranger, danger, talking stranger things. Together, forever, we're loving stranger things. It's Stranger Things Forever. Rewatching season 4 from the start to the finish. It's Stranger Things Forever. Every podcast we do will cover just 10 minutes. Stranger danger everywhere. I hope that you people still care. It's time for me to do it. Let's get to it. Come on, everyone.
Greetings, stranger friends, and welcome back to another episode of Stranger Things Forever, where today is the last Saturday of Stranger Things Forever. It's the last Saturday where Stranger Things 5 is not a part of our life. Can you believe it? We're getting closer and closer as today we talk about minutes 90 to 100. This is one long, amazing, epic finale, and we are not done yet. But we are almost. I wasn't able to do an episode this morning, as I mentioned. I think I mentioned that yesterday. Saturday morning. Usually Saturday morning's okay, but I had to go get an oil change this morning. I would do it myself, but I don't know where the oil goes in or where it comes out or how it changes or what it does to a car. So I'm probably better off leaving it to the professionals, which I did. And tomorrow morning I will be grocery shopping, so I don't think there'll be an episode in the morning tomorrow. But again, there will be one tomorrow night. That's the plan. And then I believe that leaves just 2 episodes left on Monday, and we are finished with this long project that I knew it was going to be this long. I did not know I was going to have to jam pack it into, so much into the last, few weeks. I didn't know that. I made it all happen. I mean, it's my fault. I didn't foresee that when I originally started this project all the way back last summer. And here we are, though. We are just days away from Stranger Things 5, and we are just about finished up with Stranger Things Forever. But before we get there, I did type Stranger Things into Google News, and the first few headlines really weren't all that exciting or interesting to me. How Gaten Matarazzo, the Stranger Things star, spends his days off was in the New York Times. I'm sure he does it. He spends time singing and hanging out with his friends. David Harbaugh on how Stranger Things has changed him. It ripped apart the whole conception of what I would be. Nope, I didn't like. Again, cool, awesome. Hopefully, what you would be is better than some of the news reports you hear recently. And then another article, Stranger Things stars Noah Schnapp and Millie Bobby Brown on de-aging. Again, I don't want to read anything in that that could, lead to me knowing anything that I don't want to know about season 5. And then there was one other article, and you know what? I don't even like the headline of this article. So I'm going to ignore that. I don't want to put anything. There's one article that popped up and the title alone was like, that's kind of spoilery. I don't like that. It's not like specific about anything, but it makes me think, oh, interesting. And then when something happens, I go, oh, I wonder if that's what they meant. Like, I don't like that. I don't like any of that. I try to avoid all that stuff. So are there articles in Stranger Things, in Google News about Stranger Things? Yes, they are popping up left and right, up and down and upside down, but I don't want to focus on any of those. I've seen a lot of videos of all these cool Stranger Things experiences that are going to be happening. I think some places making like a Starcourt Mall, but this is like all over the world. In fact, I just saw, okay, here's an interesting article. This is an article I will put up. Starbucks and Stranger Things team up to celebrate friendship across Latin America and the Caribbean. In honor of the 5th and final season of the iconic Stranger Things, Starbucks introduces the Stranger Things Frappuccino blended beverage, Hopper's Brew, and an exclusive merchandise collection in select Latin America and Caribbean markets starting November 24th. What? There's a Stranger Things tumbler, a Stranger Things cup that kind of looks, to me, almost Duncan-y, and they're not available outside of Latin America and the Caribbean. So now I have to make, they have all these cool reusable like cups of like kind of like 11 and Will and Mike, like these outfits, WSQK, Hawkins jersey. I want all of these. Then they have an actual drink called the Hopper's Brew, and it's only in, why would you do this, Starbucks? Okay, why would you do this? Have it. It's not in the United States. This is ridiculous. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm in the United States, but you might not be. So if you are a stranger friend and you live in the Latin America or Caribbean areas, in some markets, you will be able to get these cool cups. And it'd be interesting if you're out there and you like Starbucks and you like obviously if you like Stranger Things, I mean, you do like Stranger Things. That's why you're here. But if you're out there and you're able to get these things, I would like to, hear about it. These cups are big. I want one. God damn it. Excuse my language, but this just upsets me. I mean, it upsets me in I'm a jealous man right now, but I will put a link to this in the show notes. All right. No more wasting your time. Let's jump into these friggin' fantastic and heartbreaking and crazy and scary next 10 minutes of The Piggyback. So I've been a little rough on Mike and Will over these last few days, just because, these are two of our heroes, two of our originals, and they haven't really done too much over the last, few 10-minute blocks of this episode. In the big heroic finale, they're kind of just, standing by. And you know what? It's okay. I mean, they did a lot to get here. So you think about what's happening right now probably wouldn't be possible without all the work that Mike and Will and Jonathan and Argyle did. And of course, Susie helping them too. So they have been in very important moments. But I've been kind of joking that they're just hanging out, by a freezer while everyone else is trying to save the world. But as much guff as I've been giving these two kids, Mike does come through with a pretty fantastic little monologue that I played at the beginning of this episode. So we pick up with Vecna like he left 11, hanging up by the door, and he's like, I'll be right back. Goes over to Max, and he's like, don't be afraid. Try and stay very still. Excuse me. No, it will be all over soon. And you could see like 11 is upset. Max is just like, the fear that this girl has in her eyes. It is no wonder this Sadie Sink is going to get all these acting jobs. Pretty fantastic stuff. So you see Vecna's big giant gross claw go over Max's head. This is in Max's mind. In the real world, all of a sudden Max floats up 10 feet, in the air, and you're like, uh-oh. And Lucas looks on in horror and desperation because he's still getting choked to death by friggin' Jason, and now he's standing there and he can't do anything. And meanwhile, like 11 is very upset in the void in Max's mind, and you could see it physically having an effect on her inside the freezer, the pizza dough freezer. Like she starts kicking and she's still in the trance, but she's choking, and they're like, she can't breathe, get her out of there. They pull her out, and they're trying to talk to her and calm her down and make sure she's okay. And that's where Mike has that pretty fantastic monologue where he's like, Elle, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Elle? And you could see Elle can hear him in the void. He can hear him. She can hear him. But he's like, he's trying to get to her. Elle, can you hear me? And then he just freezes, and Will, okay, this might have been the most, I don't want to say like a little sappy, a little hokey, a little forced, like, Mike, don't stop. You're the heart. Remember, you're the heart. But at the same time, he is the heart. And he's like, he pushes Mike to get, to say what needs to be said to try to get 11 to not give up. And that's when he says, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm here. And he finally says, I love you. And he tells her the whole thing that he told Will before, that, he's never been afraid of her. He's just been afraid to say this to her because he feels like that someday she's going to outgrow him. And, feeling that, saying that and admitting that, and then that eventually happening, it would actually make things hurt more. But the truth is, I don't know how to live without you. My life, I feel like my life started the day we found you in the woods. He talks about seeing her in the big yellow T-shirt. And he says he knew right then and there that he loved her. And he's loved her every day since, on her good days, on her bad days, with her powers, without her powers. He says, I love you exactly for who you are. You're the superhero, and I can't lose you, okay? He's like, I can't lose you. So you can do anything. You can fly. You can move mountains. I believe it. I really do. But right now you have to fight. You hear me? You have to fight. And he screams it. And, where 11 is, she is not in some sort of physical world. All these vines around her, they're not actually around her. In the Upside Down, in the Creel House, that's another dimension, but it's a physical world. This is all a kind of mental construct in Max's mind that Vecna's been taking over, but it's all kind of the power of the mind. So 11 just concentrates and focuses, thanks to Mike, and she calms down, and all of a sudden she starts fighting back, and all of a sudden the vines that came off of Vecna that were wrapped around her just start unwrapping. They start unwrapping off her neck. They start unwrapping off her hands, off her feet. And now we see Lucas finally get the upper hand on Jason. So this is all kind of happening at the same time. He gets the upper hand on Jason, and he just beats the ever-loving shit out of him. Bam, 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 bam. Down goes Jason, but then he turns to Max, and it's like, oh no, am I too late? All of a sudden you see a leg snap, and we're like, oh my God, like it's too late. Like we see Hopper getting attacked, almost attacked by the Demodog. Like it's about to eat his face. You see Eddie, his mouth is all bloody. The Demobats have been tearing at him. Dustin screaming like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. You see all of a sudden you see Max again, a leg breaking, and you see her eyes, and you're just like, oh my God, you're waiting for that awful moment where her eyes sink into her head and it's done. You don't see that yet. You just see Lucas yell, Max, and then you hear Mike again scream, fight, and you finally see the veins, whatever they're called, the tentacles, the vines, they fall off 11, and then the screen goes black. And it's like a couple seconds, and then all of a sudden, this epic shot of Vecna flying back, and 11 just screaming, like just exerting so much strength from her powers, and just and he's like, whoa, and he flies back, and he like gets stuck up against one of the very trees that he has like Chrissy and Fred and Patrick at. He's like smushed. I mean, 11 just completely overpowered him, and when he hits the tree, that exact moment, Max inside the mind falls down. The vines like let her go. In the real world, in the upside, oh no, not in the upside down, but in the real world, in the Creel house, she falls completely straight down, and Lucas catches her. And I forgot to mention that Joyce, I mentioned the other day she was going to get that cattle prod. She got that cattle prod, and she zapped the shit out of that Demodog, and got it off of Hopper. They're safe for like 2 seconds. Then a Demogorgon's running at them. They run out, kind of shooting at this thing. Get out into the main kind of, I don't know what you call it, the square, the yard, and get behind a fence just in time. Actually, the Demogorgon rips the door up the fence, but there's Murray with the greatest flamethrower I've ever seen. I mean, this shoots flames very far, and he just lights them up. Flambe just completely burns this Demogorgon, the Demodog. I mean, takes a bunch of them out. And what that actually does, that actually is like the key to them saving the day, really, when you think about it, because 11 weakens Vecna. Then at the same time, Murray shoots these, monsters, weakens them. That completely kind of like disengages the hive mind to the point where all the bats around Eddie just completely drop, and now Dustin can go check on Eddie. And then the vines that were holding Robin, Nancy, and Steve just give way, and the three of them are free. Thank God the three of them are free, because now they're ready to go to phase 4, Flambe. So while that happens, Hopper back in the prison, there's one Demogorgon. There's one Demogorgon that is still kind of, moving around, still upright. He takes a shotgun, bam, 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 tries to take the thing out. It hits it. It kind of slows it a little bit, but it does not put the thing down. So he looks down, and what does he see but a friggin' sword? Back in Max's mind, 11 walks up as Vecna is, frozen, incapacitated, up against the wall, up against the tree or whatever the hell it is. And he says, "You and your friends believe you have won, don't you? But this is only the beginning of the end. You have already lost." And she says, "No, you have." And then we get some cool, heroic moments between Hopper and a sword, and Nancy, Robin, and Steve with their Molotov cocktails that, remember, Robin and Steve were building and preparing for this very moment. So Hopper, charges at the Demogorgon with the sword, it chops off his friggin' arm. Then you have Robin, I believe, lights up the Molotov cocktail. Steve throws it right at Vecna, because this is the actual physical manifestation. This is not I shouldn't say the manifestation. This is the physical being of Vecna. This is actually what they're looking at is actually Henry Creel 1 Vecna, the actual same person that was the orderly back in, back in Eleven's mind, in her memories. What Eleven's dealing with is the what would you say, the mental version, the materialized mental version, you know what I mean, that's inside the mind. So that one is the one where she says, that's where his mind is. His mind is busy with all that stuff. So he doesn't see these three kids show up and throw a friggin' Molotov cocktail right at him. He lights up. And when he lights up in the mind, in Max's mind, like he just turns into dust, and everything around 11 is starting to collapse because that world is going away because Vecna is being destroyed right here. So he's basically turning to ash in the, or smoke in the mind version, and in the actual version, in the Upside Down, you see him collapse. He was being strung up by his own vines and tentacles. I never know what to call them. And he falls to the ground covered in, completely burnt up in flames. Max, in the other version, the actual, our universe's version of the Creel house, her eye, like she kind of opens her eyes, like she wakes up. Her eyes are still white, but she wakes up, and Lucas is like, Max, like she's still alive. And it seems like she has survived. But of course, in the Upside Down, Vecna down, completely covered in flames, and then he stands up. He stands up, enraged, in flames, and then we see a quick shot of Robin about to light another Molotov cocktail. Ah, man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. And that is where we end these 10 minutes. Holy moly. This was a wild one. And I have to give it to Mike. He came through with 11, giving 11 the power of love and the power of belief, and knowing that she can fight, and fight she does. She takes out Vecna enough that he's not able to completely, take over Max and kill Max. And then Murray is, burns so many Demogorgons and Demodogs that it is enough to weaken the whole hive mind that allows Max to then be freed, allows Steve, Nancy, and Robin to then be freed, and allows them to then go and flambe Vecna, which takes out the whole construct of Vecna inside Maxine's mind. It all is connected. They all did something. Well, Will helped Mike fight on. So Will helped Mike help 11 fight on. 11 took out Vecna just enough that Max didn't die right away. Then Murray took out enough that the bats stopped with Eddie, and Maxine was freed, and the three other kids were freed, that they were allowed to burn. I mean, it all just connects perfectly in this Jenga puzzle of awesomeness that allows that we see at the last minute, Vecna down, but not exactly out. At least he's out of the, out of the mind stuff, out of the void, out of the trances. Right now, he's just dealing with what's in front of him, and it's three young people with more fire. And that's where we finish this 10 minutes. Spectacular. I've watched it a couple times in the past, and just reliving it, it's just getting me so excited for 5. It's just getting me so excited for 5 because, people, they like to take the cheap jokes of, look how old these kids are and how long it's been, who cares anymore. And then it comes out, and I feel like that was Stranger Things 4. People were doing that with Stranger Things 4. Then it comes out, and guess what? It blows everyone's effing minds. And I completely have faith that they will deliver, and that they have, all that the length and the waiting and the amount of time we've had, all that's done in the delays, that's just allowed them to perfect this. And I am in full faith that they're going to deliver something that is going to be satisfactory as well as heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, and awesome all at the same time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're not even there yet. We're not even at the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end comes next week. Right now, we're at the end of the beginning? No, that doesn't work. We're nearing the end of the penultimate. You know what I mean? We're almost done with Stranger Things Forever. How's that? We are so close. And that's really been the brunt of what this podcast has been for more than a year now, is just this long rewatch with a few books here and there. And there are books that haven't come out yet, or books that I haven't owned yet or bought yet. I am looking forward to, at some point, just focusing on the books. But at the same time, it's bittersweet, because that means that I'm done with Stranger Things 5 and we're all done with Stranger Things 5. But the book allows me to go back, allows all of us to go back and see our friends and have adventures with them, and allows me to talk about them with you. So I can't wait to do that in the future. But right now, we're finishing Stranger Things 4. And, man, coming next week, it's on, as they say. It's on. Now, you're probably not going to hear from me until a few days after that, just because of the scheduling and the holidays. I guess I got to spend time with the family. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the saddle and doing these very, very long episodes. I can't wait, and I hope you come along for the ride. But we're not done yet. I will be back here tomorrow with another episode of Stranger Things Forever. And until then, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. That's because the website is fansnotexperts.com. But if you just care about Stranger Danger, then you go to strangerdangerpodcast.com and follow Stranger Danger Podcast on Twitter. No, on friggin' Blue Sky, and Stranger D Pod on Twitter. That is it. I am done. I will talk to you tomorrow night. I believe that's when you'll next hear from me. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And remember, it's people like you and people like me. Oh, by the way, stay stranger, my friends. It's people like you and people like me. We are the ones that will keep Stranger Things alive forever.
Fans Not Experts.